Breaking next on the Weeknews Night Beat, a deadly crash on I-75 causes this backup for hours.
And police find a woman's body inside her home on New Year's Day. The breaking details next.
News Night Beat.
Breaking news: a body found inside a Southwest Florida home on New Year's Day. The death investigation now going late into the night.
I heard a lot of screeching, a lot of sirens.
A DUI chase and crash knocks out power to a neighborhood and lands the driver in jail with a long list of charges.
And hundreds of passengers are stuck on a plane for hours when at least half a dozen people get sick.
Still a little.
Reporting live here on the Night Beat, Hannah Vogel, Wink News now.
Well, thank you, Hannah. And also breaking, a deadly crash on I-75 in Collier County. It happened just before 7 p.m. near mile marker 51. That's in Immokalee. The northbound lanes are still closed right now. This is video from earlier. Drivers can get off on Snake Road to go around the investigation. Police in Pinellas County are investigating two suspicious deaths at a retirement community. They found the bodies in a home in Tarpon Springs this afternoon. They were responding to a call for a welfare check. This is a new video from the scene. Detectives are working to get a search warrant to figure out what led up to these deaths. Arrested just 2 days ago for getting into a standoff with officers is back behind bars tonight. On Sunday, Peter Tremont barricaded himself inside his Marco Island home on Copeland Drive. When officers got there, they found 17 loaded guns and night vision goggles. Tremont later bonded out of jail, and when deputies went to check on him last night, they found 25 more guns inside his home. They also say he threatened investigators. And New Year's celebrations were cut short for some in Southwest Florida. Police say a suspected drunk driver led them on a chase into this neighborhood and caused a crash and a power outage as well. And high speeds are nothing new to some in this area.
Wow. Sometimes I see people drive up and down the street about 80, 90 miles an hour.
And the Night Beat's Morgan Reiner is live on Chamberlain Boulevard, where power is back on tonight. Morgan.
Morgan Reiner, Wink News Now.
Well, thank you, Morgan. And we're seeing firsthand why the city of Cape Coral is revoking the extended hours for one popular bar. You can see a man passed out in the ground here in this new video. It's just one of several incidents Cape Coral police had to deal with at Dixie's Roadhouse. And the last straw came on December 8th when dozens of people got into a brawl outside the bar. Police did all they could to keep the peace afterwards.
The guy in the white said, "Let's take this outside." And that's how it happened.
Just hang over there for me. Okay, listen. Hey, why are you? Everybody back up. Everybody back up.
That's some of the commotion there. Now, the police department had to send 13 officers to get that scene under control. Some of the people involved yelling gang-affiliated comments. Owners of Dixie will have a chance to get their extended hours back next week at a special council meeting. We tried reaching out to Dixie for comment, but never heard back.
The first murder of
a tragic start to the new year. You can see crews pulling out this car out of a lake. Investigators say one man died and a 15-year-old girl is in critical condition after they drove into it. The crash happened in Miami Lakes early this morning. Miami-Dade police said 2 other teens escaped the car, but rescuers couldn't get to 19-year-old Christopher Jamie out in time. Now police are trying to piece together how this crash happened.
It's pretty easy for you to just go straight into the lake, first of all, because there's no warning signs, there's no caution, there's no lights, there's no reflectance.
It's a shame. It's sad for any family to have to go through.
It's unclear if alcohol was a factor. And tomorrow afternoon, President Trump and congressional leaders are expected to sit down and discuss the proposed border wall. The meeting in the West Wing of the White House marks the first face-to-face talks between both sides since the government shutdown started 11 days ago. The top-ranking Democrats and Republicans of both chambers are invited to attend.
And the impact of the shutdown was
business is booming at the beach, where just a few short months ago, Southwest Florida water woes were causing local restaurants and hotels to hemorrhage profits. You may remember high levels of red tide made our coast practically unbearable. The Night Beat's Kelsey Kushner is live on Fort Myers Beach tonight, where the holiday crowd is still hanging out. Kelsey.
That's right, it is still pretty.
A 2-year-old girl is recovering tonight after falling into this rhino enclosure at a Florida zoo. A spokesman for the Brevard Zoo says the girl fell through a fence while taking part in a hands-on experience with the rhinos. The girl's father rescued her from the exhibit and rushed her to paramedics. No word yet on how badly the girl was hurt.
It's your money, and now there are rules to protect.
And it's your money. You might notice some things costing more in the new year. That's because sales taxes went up in Collier and Lee counties. It will impact most things we buy in stores. But in Collier County, the sales tax will go into effect on car leases, electric and gas, gym memberships, storage units, commercial rent, and newspaper subscriptions. The extra money will go to improve roads in Collier County, and in Lee, it will help rehab and build new schools.
One family.
All right, thank you, Jim. Ahead on Week News at 10:30, a community in fear.
That he's still out there is really scary because if he did it here, he's going to continue to.
In Russia tonight, there's a race against time and the freezing cold to find survivors trapped inside this collapsed apartment building. As many as 14 people have been rescued, including one of the smallest sounds of life. Tonight Beats Barry Peterson has the story. A video of a man trying to steal a bike from outside a police station. You can see him sawing off the bike lock right there when a police officer walks out the door and stops him in his tracks. This happened in Oregon last week. The police station shared this video on social media. And also caught on camera, robbers hit a jewelry store. This happened this morning in Arizona. You can see them wandering around the store. They also broke the front window of the store, but we don't have that video of that. Police say they stole watches and costume jewelry.
A new
plunging into the new year on Fort Myers Beach. Hundreds of people came out to the 14th annual Polar Plunge. That started as fun to get together, which quickly has turned into a charity benefit over the last 6 years. This year, the plunge benefited a member of the beach community, Steve Miller, who was diagnosed with cancer in 2017.
It's unbelievable. People are really caring down here. It's like one big family, so it's very nice.
The money raised from today's plunge will help Miller with his medical and living expenses. And with the new year comes new laws. We first told you about some local laws taking effect earlier tonight, but what about the rest of the country? The Night Beat's Natalie Brand gives us a look at some of the standouts.
2019.
Another noteworthy law in Illinois, new moms may be able to get out of jury duty. The new rule says any mother nursing her child can be excused from jury service. A manhunt is underway for the man who shot and killed this 7-year-old girl totally unprovoked. And new right now, police say this is the truck that man was driving when he opened fire on the car that girl was in. It happened in Houston Sunday. Jasmine Bars was inside the car with her family at the time. She died at the scene. Her younger sister was hurt by shattered glass, and her mother was shot in the arm.
I turned around and my 7-year-old.
All new on the Night Beat, a bittersweet story about the circle of life and how joy and grief can bring us together. And it all ends and begins with a name. Wing News reporter David Begno has tonight's talker at 10.
Almost a year ago, this little baby entered the world in Lafayette.
And it's so true. Some of the most special moments in our lives happen in the most unexpected times.
Yeah, and can really bring people together, strangers from all parts of life, bring them together in such a special way. And it's also really neat to see a reporter be so connected to the story as well, because obviously we're humans too, and we have that connection as well.
Sometimes our best sources are family and friends as well.
Right, you never know.
Wink News will be right back after this.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight at 10. Two Broke Girls is next on WXEW.
And for more news, make the switch over to Wink TV at 11. Have a great night.